Hello, beautiful. It's Joe again. And today we're talking about week 19 and waiting for the whoosh. So here's where we're at. I have been in a pretty long plateau. There were probably multiple factors in that. I haven't been walking up until this week. This morning was my first walk in a while. I have been giving myself a break for a couple of reasons. Initially, the longer days of the solstice and everything were really messing with me and really giving me a hard time getting up like normal. And my body just said, you know what? No, I don't want to get up early. And then I was getting up earlier again, but I wasn't feeling motivated and I just wanted to sit on the couch and chill. Then I realized that after a couple of weeks of having such a hard time getting myself moving and just not having gone, my Achilles tendonitis was finally feeling better. And I'm like, hold on. Am I close to actually finally healing this? Because I've been walking on a bad Achilles tendon for months. I flared it up quite a few months ago and took a little break, but I didn't want to take a long break, and switching what shoes I was wearing helped, and got it to where it wasn't so bad. But I couldn't walk around my house barefoot without being in pain because mine does better with a little lift at the heel. So I realized this is feeling better. So I gave myself 2 more deliberate weeks off to not walk, not do anything except walk Gizmo. Hi, Gizmo. Come here, baby. You want to say hi? Oh, your baby boy. Oh, he had a grooming. Oh, he had a grooming. He doesn't want to look at the camera, though, as per usual. But I took him for a grooming. He got a grooming. Everything's better with him. His little bobos are all better. He's himself again. But I've been taking him on his normal walks. But there's different shoes I can wear for that complement the Achilles tendon problem for me. But they're not good for a walk. So I just took that couple of weeks. And today was my first walk in a good month probably. And it felt so much better. Nothing's hurting except the bottom of my feet. I'm going to have to start getting my Leuko tape and taping up my feet again because the balls of my feet get sore no matter what I do. I never build calluses. That skin just stays tender, and I have to tape up my feet to get around that. And so that's why some of those pictures where you can see my feet and scales and stuff look all gloppy and yuck. It's tape residue because sports tape is key here. I bless the day I discovered Leuko tape because otherwise, yowza. Ooh. But I will have to tape my feet up in a little while, and that way tonight's yoga will go smoother. Tomorrow morning's walk will go smoother. This tape stays on like gangbusters. I don't have to change it every day. It'll stay on there for a couple of days, even through a shower, which is crazy, but that's some tape. Now, what I was saying about waiting for the whoosh. So I think that in part, not walking for the last month has definitely set me back on the weight loss. And I didn't cut my calories to speak of. I still eat between 2,200, 23, sometimes a smidge more. But I didn't want to risk setting my metabolism back by cutting calories too much, especially since I've been doing the longer fasts more regularly. I don't know if that's working for me because I'm getting autophagy maybe, but I'm getting autophagy even on the 40-hour fasts. So maybe not as much for as long, but it's happening. But in looking at the whoosh, this is a thing that many people believe is real, but science doesn't fully support, or they're not saying it doesn't happen, but not necessarily for the reason that people think it does. Here is what the general belief, but unproved belief is, and that is that When your body plateaus like that for no real good reason, often it means that your fat cells are, are you're losing fat, but the fat cells aren't shrinking, that it's filling with water. As your fat loses, the fat cell is staying the same size, but it's replacing the fat with water, and then eventually the fat gets to such a minimal amount and it's all water, and then it just goes whoosh and depletes with all that water suddenly. I don't know if that's true, but people do, and a lot of people think it's not true. Or, hey, we're not saying this doesn't happen, but we don't think it's water. The science doesn't support that being water weight. We don't know what's replacing it or where that sudden loss is coming from. But when it happens for people, generally speaking, what seems to happen is that they will plateau like that as things are shifting and changing in their body, but it's not reflecting on a scale. And then it just, when it does the whoosh, they lose like a bunch of pounds, like 5 and 10 pounds all at one time. So I'm hoping for the whoosh. I'm hoping that getting back to my workouts will make a difference too. So next week is weigh in, body measurement, body picture week. So week 20. And as of right now, I don't know what it's going to look like, because the scales, I have been peeping on the scale here and there, and it's just hovering around 175, 176. I think this morning it was 176.6. I don't weigh religiously. I care about that monthly number. But since I got that new scale, it's just sitting there. I'm like looking at what's happening. And as I'm doing the longer fasts, I'm wondering where my body is reacting to it. And I just came out of a 72-hour fast, or 76 or something, and nothing changed, which is crazy. And it was a clean fast. I mean, just clean as clean can be. My body was doing all its things internally. And the scale didn't move at all. And I did break my 88-hour fast early this week. I am debating about dialing back the longer fast for a while. Maybe my body is not liking that. I might go back to strict ADF for a while and just take the 88 hours out of it, because there's too many factors, you know. Science is real. They have to factor in so many things to know if it's, which is the cause. And I don't know. I've got multiple things that could be causing this plateau. It could be the lack of the workouts. It could be too many calories while not working out. It could be just waiting for the whoosh and fat cells filling up with water, so it is depleting, but they're not going down. I don't know. I don't know why I'm in the plateau. I don't have any discouraged feelings that are making me think, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. I in no way, shape, or form feel like that. I'm still enjoying the fasting state. In fact, it's getting even easier. I don't think about food much at all. The long ones are easier. This current long one, I only ended for one specific reason early, and that is because I knew I needed to get back to my walks. The only reason I did not walk yesterday morning was because I was halfway through an extended one, and the fatigue does set in for me. I don't mind working out at 62 hours fasted, 40 hours fasted. Those are fine. By the time I get to the next morning of fasting, I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. I get fatigued. Although I did not have as much fatigue this time, but I dialed up my electrolyte boosting a lot in the last couple of days to see if maybe I was just under electrolyting myself no matter my best efforts. And I think it was working for me. But I am thinking that I am just going to put aside long fasts for a while, for maybe a month, and get back to my workouts. And I'm going to take myself back to how I was doing it when I very first started alternate day, and see if that makes a difference. And maybe the whoosh will just come. I can say that while the scale is not moving, I do feel like things are shifting and changing in my body still. So, one of the things that they talk about on one website is that as people's bodies get ready for the whoosh, often they will feel a squishy laxity about their body. And I can say that I have felt that way around my stomach and my midriff. I have felt more squishy than I felt before. So that gives me whoosh hope. I'm definitely, besides the squishiness in certain areas, I'm still, my arms are looking thinner from the top. In addition to my clavicles, I'm starting to be able to feel the bones here more. That's pretty new. Like in the last couple of days, I'm just like, hey, less fat here. So I think there's still a lot of visceral fat movement and shifting. And so I'm not discouraged. It's just a change. And in the meantime, I think I am going to force myself to not do my extended fasts for a while and just do like a month of pure ADF, alternate day fasting, 40 off, 8 on, repeat, and see if that helps. I also did mention last week that I was considering going into something of a carnivore style diet for a while. I'm still thinking about that. In the meantime, I'm going to try to dial back my carbs a little bit more, and I am going to up my protein. Like one of the things I broke my fast with last night was a couple of strips of thick deli bacon. And can I just say, yeah, dang, I haven't bought bacon in like 10 years. I don't really care about bacon, generally speaking. But holy WTF, that was so satisfying. So I like grilled up the bacon, and then I like fried a couple of eggs in the bacon grease. And oh my god, that was so good. Oh, and I still had my bone broth right before I ate that, and my stomach handled everything pretty well. And I can say that bacon may come into my life a little more regularly now, because daggum. As far as my walk this morning, after having the better part of a month off, I was concerned. Well, not concerned. I was negotiating with myself as I was walking. And the considerations were, can I walk my usual route, that long hill especially? How am I going to feel? Am I going to need to go a little bit slower? Am I going to need to maybe skip that last hill? And I was willing to negotiate as the walk progressed. And I ended up not having to change anything of my route.
Good morning, beautiful. It's Joe. And I am back in the saddle with my walk. Today was the first day back. I meant to do it yesterday, but life, and I was in the middle of an extended fast. So, this is where I turn around at now. And way back there, see the really barely brown one, not the really light tan one, but the hard to see one in the middle. That is where I'm going before I turn back around. So, let's have fun. Boop, boop.
My speed did not decline terribly. The bottom of my feet are sore as hell, but my speed and pace was pretty respectable. I still was in the 19 to 20 minute range. It was probably about 20 and a half minutes per mile, which is pretty decent, especially because there were several pauses to say hi to people where I didn't turn the counter off or anything. So it was actually a hair faster than even this shows. But I didn't have a problem doing my entire regular route except for the sore feet. By the time I got to Gizmo's part of the walk, the sore feet were talking to me. Let me just say. Now, next week, once again, is weigh-in, body measurements. I will be very curious because I haven't cheated. I haven't looked. I will be curious. The only thing I've cheated is looking at the scale. So I'm wondering, what are the measurements going to look like? Will they have not moved at all this time? Or will the visceral changes that I've been seeing kick in on the inches, even though they're not showing on the scale? And also, with being back into my walks this week, I'm getting right with myself, and yoga's happening tonight. I had my 5 miles this morning. I'm going to have my 5 miles tomorrow morning. I'm going to color my hair later today, do some grooming stuff. I wanted to do it this morning before the video, but I wanted to get the video done and out of the way. So we will groom more. I've cheated. I've covered all my roots. You can't see how bad my hair looks right now. Too badly. I think I have twigs because it's a couple of days worth of hairstyle too. So fashion being what it is, we're just gonna live with that. I think that was the majority of what I wanted to talk about. Just a quick additional note. If you want to know what I've been doing with my week and why I enjoyed that walk so much this morning, I have been sewing masks. And I was so sick of sitting on this chair, and my legs and thighs were like, move, stretch. So for that reason alone, the walk was great. It's so little. It's so little. So very perfectly portable. Join me in waiting to see if the whoosh is real for me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I would be curious to know if anybody who is looking at these videos has ever experienced the whoosh for themselves. My friend who has been doing the circadian rhythm fasting, and now for 2 weeks, she did her 1 week report, lost 7 pounds, so much bloat and inflammation, 2 inches. I'm so happy for her. I think that fasting of some variety is perfect for everybody, because our bodies just were not made to eat the way we eat. We have to acknowledge that. We have to get right with ourselves, and we have to get right with food. And it's really helped change my relationship with food. Now, I'm not saying that after my eggs and bacon last night that I didn't eat a couple of them chips that were calling me. Baby back rib flavor. Yeah, I mean, that's my treat this week. It wasn't a hunger thing. It was a want of the flavor, that bump of flavor. So, and I hadn't eaten anything all day up until the evening. It was way later normally than I would have eaten. I was eating at like 7:30 last night because I made the decision that I wanted to be sure to have enough energy for my walk this morning. I wasn't going to skip another walk. But I did treat myself to those chips, and then I chilled out and relaxed in the evening with a Mike's Hard Lemonade and black cherry always. And that was delicious. And I put a little bit of black cherry rum in it. So I take a drink, make a little room, pour a little black cherry rum shot in there, and then 1 drink is all I need. And that helped me just relax and get to bed early, even though I was messing around later than I prefer to, and make sure I was in bed and sleeping and ready to work out this morning. And here we are, ready to wrap up another week and go into our final week of this 4-week period and see how life treats us. Now you have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and please feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to keep track of how things are going, or if you want to know if the whoosh ever comes. Have a great day. But in looking at what the Whoosh is, okay, I had another point. Hang on. Where that's pretty new, like in the last couple of 40 on 8